Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with Michael, our weekend edition, weekend update. The word of the day is Yare. Yare, responding promptly to the helm, easily manageable. The captain was relieved to find the ship Yare despite the choppy waves. So that's our word of the day. Let's move on to the rest of our PowerPoint. We use the sticky trade 7-point trading checklist. And when we look at where the market's going to move, we check off type of candle, bullish, bearish, volume, 20-day simple moving average, divergence, gaps, stochastics, CCI, and roll reversal. If you're interested in putting something else but stochastics, Bollinger Bands, or anything else, you can do so. Come up with your checklist. This is Bitcoin. It showed a red candle over on Friday, but surprise, surprise, it has taken off. We'll take a look at that in a few moments. It has just been roaring back. It's above 62,000. It's been kind of difficult to kind of trade. So here we go. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is a bearish engulfing. You can see it's engulfing the other prices here. 1, 2, 3, 3 price ranges. What happened when we had a bearish engulfing that did that over here? I guess this would be one. Came down and then just kind of rolled over. So the stochastics is heading down, and the CCI is hitting down and is hinging. That looks like a little lower. So we'll see if that continues down. This is the IWM, which has just been like a yo-yo, bouncing back and forth, unable to make new highs in 2.5 years. Who knows, maybe it's 2 3/4 years right now. They hit a top right up here. Just seems to be in a trading range. Let me go check in on our price targets here. I forgot to bring that up on the Dow. So on the Dow, we looking for a 382.20, and IWM stay right at the 198.05. Moving on to, this is the NASDAQ or the QQQ. Once again, we have a bullish engulfing all these pricing over here. So we got this engulf this pricing, and we got a red candle, and stochastics is moving down, and it looks like the CCI is flattening out. We're a long way above the 20-day moving average. So those are all things to take into consideration. See, let's move the screen down a little bit here. This is the QQQ, the bearish engulfing. It engulfs these two. If we take a look over here, it just trended down till it got to the moving averages and then bounced. So that's what we're kind of looking for. The volume was pretty high on Friday, so we'll just take a look. I did miss the S&P 500, which is right here. Here's the S&P 500. Very similar. I think this really looks closer to a doji. Needs more information. This one actually moved up and closed pretty close to its low. The candle is about even. Looks like they're both the stochastics and the CCI are flattening out. Really need to go to a full screen to kind of look at it. Here they're trending down. And this one looks like it's ready to hinge. And you can see it is definitely covering at least 3 days positive moves. So we'll see if it is above the 20-day moving average. We got high volume over here. Take a look at the VIX. The VIX is kind of the opposite. We got a bullish engulfing here, matching this price over here, hit the 1290 target. So I believe we have a target of 1362 on the S&P 500. I believe it is 502 is our target on the S&P 500. And as we move through the news, this is from Markets Insider. Stocks are eerily similar to the last bear market crash. This is Charles Schwab. We bring up the news because better to be aware of what is possible, even though it doesn't happen. So that's why we take a look at it. This was an interesting chart from the great Marquise. Don't be alarmed. It gets much worse, he says. A complete financial cleansing is overdue. So this is 2024. Looks very similar to 1929. Spiked up in price. This is actually more like a climax run. We don't really have a climax run at the moment, but we could get there. It is moving on up, and it just falls to unknown levels. And so there's a possibility we could turn down to the 2020 bear market lows. What could be the causes? Well, more and more countries are declaring their intention to join BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and Saudi Arabia ahead of the Russian summit. And what could happen? Well, more countries could dump our US bonds and stop supporting the dollar. And this could lead to higher inflation and make everything cost a lot more. Like July 4th cookout. 2022 at 69.68. It's dropped $2 last year, and now it has gone even higher than this 2 previous years for 2024. Inflation is hitting the backyard. Then what else do we have to look at? California reveals that they had fake jobs. They didn't have higher job growth. This was all fake. And how much of the federal jobs increase are fake as well. So I just don't think you can trust the numbers anymore. But what you can trust, California fast food minimum wage law is already smashing small businesses and customers. Critics warn of potential layoffs and restaurant closures as a result of the wage hike. And if they don't do that, I'm sure they're going to be bringing in robotics and AI type of ordering. So our youth will no longer have the opportunity to get that starting job. So that is a look at our charts and what is happening in the economy. So let us go to our other screen. We'll just take a look at what Bitcoin is doing this weekend. Pull back here pretty close to 60,000, and it is just taken off. Trading pretty flat. And then look at this spike in pricing. So it's up around 62,700. Let me just refresh this. Yeah, 62,800. Ethereum is near 3,500. So there we go. Let's go to our charts. So we're going to take a look at some of the leading stocks. Let me adjust this. We're going to look at the top stocks in Investors Business Daily's report. Let's see the IBD 50. We're not going to go through all 50, but we are definitely going to look at the top 10 or 12. Celestica is number 1. Seems like it's working on a base. This is all computer generated based on all the different factors. We had some ants over here buying, institutional ants. It's just been riding along, pull back here to below its 50-day for a couple of weeks, bounced up, and then it's just been riding the 10 and 20-day moving average. Looks like it's building up another consolidation base, and that is Celestica. Number 2 is NVIDIA. NVIDIA doing about the same. They broke out over here. Had one breakaway gap here, another gap here. They came up here, got pretty extended. If you just take a look at the channel line, extended at the channel line, and that's usually when people take their profits. So there's been some profit taking here. It's just kind of bouncing around. We'll just see if we get some support. Got support here at the 20-day. That is NVIDIA. Transmedics Group is number 3. They have been basing over here, came up to 97.78, pulled back 82.87, and here they gapped up on earnings. The earnings came in at 538%. Got one institutional ant right over here of buying, and it is just riding the 10-day moving average. On to number 4, which is ARM. ARM Holdings, been working on a long base, gapped up here on earnings, and then pulled back here, pretty strong. The earnings came in at 999%. It bounced, pulled back, and it's just been working on this, what we like to call a Darvish box. Here's the left side of the box, and here's the right side of the box. We bought right in this area. Looks like it's trying to bounce out. Looks like a handle here. Breaking out of the handle. We'll just see if it can clear this over here. Continuing on. Number 5 is Him and Hers Health. Gapped up over here and a strong pullback close to the 10-day moving average and gapped up again. Got up to these high levels, pull back through the 10-day down to the 20-day. Slice right through the 20-day, and now it's trying to get back up there. So that is a storm. Him and Hers. RX Site. Cup with a handle base here. Tried to break out, broke out, and then it's pulled back right into the base. So we got a base on base. Nicholas Darvish box. So 66.64 would be the breakout on this one. On to Camtech, Israel maker of automated optical inspection systems. Seems to be a little bit stretched from its breakout here. Wait for a pullback and set up a new base. Arista Networks has been a little volatile here. Tried to break out, pull back into the base. Set up Darvish box right here, broke out. Pulled back pretty strong, got close to the 50-day. Has been riding between the 20 and 50-day and then broke out again, gapped up. It just continues riding higher. NAPCO Security Techs riding, bouncing back and forth. And it is riding the 20-day moving average right at the moment. Decker's Outdoor did break out, big gap up, and tried to got pretty close to the profit zone, and now it is pulling back pretty close to the 50-day moving average, right into that pivot area again. So I guess it seems like maybe they're rotating out of the shoe area, definitely with Nike. Nike fell pretty severely. Here we got Elf Beauty. This is Elf Beauty is number 11. Nice long base. Here's the cup with the handle. Powers through the 20 and 10-day moving average. And now it's just oscillating, rotating back and forth in the pivot area. Look at two more. This is Netflix. Had the big sell-off on earnings right over here. Been getting constant buying. Broke out over here and is just riding between the 10 and 20-day moving average. Right over here, pull back to the 10-day. Make My Trip. This is an Indian travel company. This has just been soaring. Look at this move from 29.93 all the way up to 89.83. Had a little bit of a pullback below the 50-day and then broke out again. So it looks like it's working on another consolidation. Guess you could call this a base on base. I just continue to watch that. We have a couple of them watching. Toast is on the list. I think it's 43. You have 43. The big cup with the handle. About over here right before earnings. Sold off here. They gapped up again. And now it's working on another cup base at least. We'll see if we bought the $23 options and we are sitting in the stock again. You can see the holding. The other one that we have in the portfolio is here. Seems like everything is starting to move back to software. There's Dutch Brothers at number 28. Bought that at 34.55 and at 36. Did pull back a little bit on Friday, but it has definitely broken out of this little base here. Lopsided up with handle, and here she just takes off. We have 831 drive-through coffee shops in 16 states in the United States. Everyone that I've gone to seems to have a long lineup. There was one, yeah, we wanted to look at app. Also in like the software area, pull back to 65.62 to the 50-day moving average, gapped up, kind of broke out of this zone, 79.65, and now it's oscillating within a new box area. So just continue to watch this. Gets you, see if I can draw the line here. Almost looks like it's breaking out there. Let's go over to the weekly. Yeah, it's pretty tight in here. head consolidation. Looks pretty close to a triangle here. So we're going to continue to watch that. We may put on a call option or two. We'll just take it and see how she goes. But that's a look at some of the top performing stocks, where they're rated and how they're looking. App 11 as earnings supposed to go up 204% this year and another 27% next year. So this has been Mornings with Michael. In addition, hope everybody has had a great weekend, and we'll catch you tomorrow with our first of the week Mornings with Michael episode. Everybody take care and have a good day.